The decisions by Finland and Sweden to apply for membership, they are historic, and that will strengthen the security of Finland and Sweden, of NATO, and be important for the whole transatlantic alliance. At the same time, we need to ensure that when new allies or new countries join the alliance, we have to take into account the security interests of all allies. And Turkey has expressed some serious concerns on issues like terrorism. And we all know that no NATO ally has suffered more terrorist attacks than Turkey. Thousands of people have been killed. And PKK and other groups, they are responsible for these terrorist attacks. And PKK is a terrorist organization. That is something which is also not only many NATO allies proscribe PKK as a terrorist organization, but the European Union, Finland and Sweden. So of course, to sit down then and discuss with Turkey how can we step up, do more together in fighting terrorism, which is a threat to our security, is an issue that is absolutely legitimate and important as part of the accession process we now and dialogue we now have with Finland and Sweden.
Then the full invasion came, and it was a military non-aligned, sovereign, democratic country that was just run over by Russia. And in the way they did it, I mean, it was with war crimes from the very beginning, targeting civilians. We saw pictures of maternity hospitals, children. I was many times in Ukraine, and 3 times on the contact line just before. I was walking the streets of Mariupol with this wonderful theater with a red roof. And then I learned that there were 600 people killed because the Russians sent a missile onto that red roof and killed 600 people. That shocked the Swedish people, really. And it shocked the Finnish people, who has a 1,340 kilometers direct border to Russia. And we started to say, are we safe? After 200 years, where we have tried to take tension down, not to have any in the puzzle, military build-ups. And then we came to the conclusion after discussion with all the parliamentary partners, so no, we are not safe anymore. We need security guarantees, because Russia has become totally unpredictable, and they have warfare that is really dangerous.
When will a diplomatic solution be on the table, and is one in the offing?
To use a very hackneyed expression, it takes 2 to tango, and we have not seen any interest on the part of Vladimir Putin in engaging in any kind of meaningful diplomatic initiative. But in any event, as we said from the start, it's really important that the Ukrainians define the terms of any potential negotiation. Our role right now is to make sure that they have the means in their hands to continue to repel the Russian aggression, and when a negotiating table eventually does emerge, which at some point it will, that they have the strongest possible hand to play at the negotiating table.
So we have developed this approach in which every citizen is important for the defense and has a role, and all parts of society has a role in planning and preparing for war. And that's even part of the legislation, actually, where everyone in Sweden from the age of 16 to 70 can be drawn upon in case of a major crisis or war. Not all for military service, I should underline. It's not a total militarization of society, but it would be 3 categories. Military or civilian working in hospitals and so on, and the third even for ordinary people that are not part of this conscript, assigned to certain kind of production, for instance, that would be needed or requested. But I think, and this is a very complex way of planning, which is interesting for many. And I think within the context of what we are discussing today, hybrid threats and resilience, this is interesting because it builds deterrence into peacetime society, and that's really what we are looking at when we talk about hybrid, because hybrid does not exclude the military, but we want to capture it and counter it before it becomes military, so to say.
At the Atlantic Council, we think this is the fourth shot at shaping global order since World War I. The first shot we got tragically wrong: League of Nations, Treaty of Versailles, millions of dead, rise of fascism, World War II. After World War II, we got it more right than wrong: liberal international order, the United Nations, European Coal and Steel Community, NATO, the Bretton Woods institutions. Aberrational for the United States to build international institutions at that time, and then to stay the course in Europe as the United States did. At the end of the Cold War, there was a feeling that it might be the end of history. Even China seemed to be taking on capitalist characteristics, and there was a hope that would lead to the rise of a middle class and some change in how China would shape itself. We did get enlargement of NATO. We did get enlargement of the European Union, but now we are, with Putin's war in Ukraine, at a fourth shot at shaping global order.